Hey guys, welcome back to a brand new video, and in today's video I will be showing you how to 2D animate for free. Now, the 2D animation program that I use is Krita. You can go to Krita's website by clicking the link in the description. Here it is. When you click the link, it'll bring you to here. You click this button to bring you to the download area, and you can click this to look at the system requirements, the different ones. You have the Windows installers, the Mac OS ones, and the Linux. Or you could go to old version library to see the previous versions, but you download it by if you have a Windows 64-bit computer, you click this button, and then it'll start downloading it, and once you have it downloaded, launch it, and it should bring you to here. So this is Krita, and I like to have the width on 1920 and the height on 1080, and then give it a name. I have it saved as animation size good, because before I had an animation size, but it wasn't quite the size I liked, so I changed it to this. And then once you have a name for it, click save, and then click create. So once you have it loaded up, it'll look like this, and I recommend using a brush size of 20. So you right click on this and then just type 20, and I have a timeline, animation, the onion skins, palettes, and all of that stuff. So to change the color wheel, you click this, and then you click right here, and it brings up a bunch of different options for the color wheel. I like to use this one, and to bring up the timeline, which shows the frames, the animation tools, and the onion skin layers, you click settings, dockers, and then click animation, and then click settings again, click dockers, and then click onion skins, and then click settings, dockers, and then this time go to onion skins, and then do it again, but this time click palette, and then you can move the stuff around by doing this, like hovering over the name, and then you can move it around. And to make it like tabs like that, you just hover over it, and then now it's in tabs that you can swap. I like to have it like this, so I have my frames and my canvas to paint in, the palette, the brush tools, the brush preset history, and the color wheel, the animation, and the onion skins. So by default it's on 24 frames. I like to have it on 20 frames per second. You can also change the speed right here, the end frame, the start frame, and here are all the play options. You can play it, you can go the next frame, the next keyframe that you have a drawing on. So first, I'd like you to know that I'm not going to show you how to animate with a mouse, because I have a graphics tablet, so I'll be using that for the art, as you can see. So I'll just draw a line here. This is the mouse, and this one is tablet, which is, well, it's a graphics tablet, not like an iPad tablet. So on this side, this is what it would look like if I draw a person, or like a stick figure with a mouse. So it's not very good. And this is what it looks like when I use a tablet, which is my actual art from my hand. It looks a lot better, and yeah, so in all of like the cartoons that you might see on TV, they all use graphics tablets to make the art easier to make and the art better. So you don't need a graphics tablet to animate in Krita, but if you want it to have your actual hand art rather than your mouse, then you would use a graphics tablet. Now, if you see right here in the paint layer, there's not a frame yet. So you click this to create a frame, and you don't click this to switch between layers. You click over here. So go to the background layer, uncheck the little lock button, and click new frame, and turn that on, but it won't work for the background layer right away unless you draw on it. So then I like to select a black color for the outline and then fill it in with colors from the color palette, or use my own colors that I use. So if you can see, there are a lot of different brush tools. There's a lot of them, and sometimes it can be a little overwhelming not knowing what tool does what. So to make it easier, if you click all, it brings up digital for all the digital brushes, or digital style, and then the erasers, and the effects one, and turn those pixel art tools, and then ink, so like pen tools, and yeah, and paint tools, and pixel art tools, and sketch tools, texture tools. So I like to, when it's in the setting of all, I like to use this one right on the top right. Or if you want to use pressure sensitivity, if you have a graphics tablet, then and you want to have pressure sensitivity, which is this. The lighter you press, the softer the brush, and the harder you press, the bigger the brush. Now, it doesn't work very well when you have a super huge brush selected. So, yeah. But it works better with a smaller brush size, like a brush size of 20, because then it doesn't go super huge, and it just doesn't look as like super big circle, and then right next to it, a super little circle. So that works so much better if you have a graphics tablet, but you don't need one to use it, but it works so much better if you have one. And I like to use this one on the top right for just my art, that like digital looking art. And sorry I had to cut a little bit out, but yeah. So first, use well, you can use whatever brush tool you want, but I recommend for starting and just like cartoony looking ones, using the one on the top right in the brush presets of all. And then the brush size of 20 and opacity on 100, because if it's lower then it's not full and you can see what's behind it. So first just draw a circle. It won't be perfect, but try to make the circle as, well, good as possible. Or you can just come over here and use the circle tool and do this. But as you can see, it doesn't keep its circle shape. So by pressing Shift, but I have a button on my graphics tablet that acts like it's Shift. So if I click that, it stays its circle shape. Or circle shape. Or you can just draw it. And if you can see, so just draw a stick man. It won't be perfect if you're using a mouse. It would look like you. So ignore what I just said. So yeah. Over here are all the tools. I like to use this paintbrush looking one, which is just like the draw tool, and there's line tools, and this one, which is kind of interesting, it does this. Yeah, and there's also mirror options up here to make it so if you draw something up here, it draws it on the bottom or on the side, but I don't like to use that very much. So I just have this bean looking outline selected, and just select or draw a circle around your stick man's head, and then click this tool right here, and then you can rotate it around and move it around if you want. You don't have to, but that's just that's just a little thing showing you how to use the selection tools, which are these ones, or you could use the color select tools. But yeah, and Control Shift and A, if you press them all at the same time, then that deselects whatever you have selected. So just take your little stick man and then click this button right here, and then click right here for a new frame. And if you can see, everything that you drew is a little bit not as bright. So go to the onion skins tab, and so by default it should look like this, but just click everything back here to get rid of it, and everything back here except for -1, so only have 0 and -1 selected. So that means you only see the previous frame. So then draw the stick man's legs, and then body, and then arm, and then don't draw the other arm just yet. Draw the head, then the mouth, then the eyes, and then draw the arm, but a little bit more upwards like this, and then do it again on a new frame. And what this does is now you're animating your stick man. So it might not seem like much because this is just a tutorial showing you how to animate it. And then now you have some frames, and if you click this button right here, it goes to frame 1, and then click this button right here, making sure that your frame rate is on whatever you like. I like to animate in 15 and 20 frames. 20 frames if you want a smoother animation. And yeah, so by clicking this button right here, this play button, you can see what your animation is. So it's not much because there's not many frames, but if you make more frames, it will make the animation smoother and look a little less not like an animation, and more like an animation. You can animate whatever you want. Doesn't even have to be a stick man, but I'm just showing you how to animate with a stick man because it's easy to draw, and there's not much high detail or detail at all. So it's easy to draw for a beginner, and just in general, it's easy to draw. So right now, I'm just taking the stick down the wave while having his head look around a bit. And then finally ending on a arm on the stick man's side, just like at the beginning. And almost done. And there. So now, if you click this and then click the play button again, you can see the little animation. My first animation wasn't very good because it was my first. Not many people's first animation is as good as like their 2 millionth animation or 200th. So your first animation probably won't be like super good because it would be your first, but the more animations that you make, the better they'll get, and the more you'll improve at your digital art and animation skills. So over time you get better and better, just like me. So this animation won't look pretty good just because it's a stick man, and I'm not putting much effort in this one. I do put lots of effort in my normal animations, but because this is just like just to show how to animate, I'm not putting much like detail into it, just making it so you understand the basics of animating in Krita, and you don't download Krita and then be like, how on earth do I even draw a line? So this video is just to show you how to animate in Krita, and yeah, I recommend to, if you want a good size for your animation, I recommend, or good size for the canvas, I recommend using 1920 pixels for the width and 1080 pixels for the height, and that is the size of most modern monitors. So if you upload your animation on YouTube and you're in full screen, it would fill up the entire screen and not be just a portion of it, which is how my animations are. So yeah, and that is a simple tutorial on how to use Krita, how to animate in it. And if you found this video helpful on how to animate in Krita, then leave a like and put any suggestions in the comments for future videos or future tutorials for Krita. And bye bye.